So, as of a couple of days ago, and probably almost a week ago by the time I get this edited and posted, I am officially, unofficially, officially, however you want to say it, I am unemployed because my employer doesn't have the means to continue, paying us while we're not working, and is unwilling to allow some of us to go in and start working. So it's kind of interesting. So I'm attached to my employer, who someday will begin work again, and once they do, I'll be there. And then at the same time, I am, I guess now, doing the unemployed thing because, and I never thought I would be in this boat, but I make more off of unemployment than I do getting or doing those jobs that I was doing before. So that's kind of how that's going to go, unfortunately. I am doing a couple of jobs a week, but if any of you guys have done unemployment, you kind of know how that goes. Kind of the same thing for Social Security, and when you got a disability for the Army and stuff like that too. But anyway, we have Tom Swift and the Submarine boat. And we today are on chapter XXIV, or chapter 24. And this is called Ramming the Wreck. We have just a little bit left, so let's see what's going to happen. Fitted with a long, sharp steel ram in front, the Advance was peculiarly adept for this sort of work. In designing the ship, this ram was calculated to be used against hostile vessels in wartime, for the submarine was at first, as we know, designed for a government boat. Now the ram was to serve a good turn. To make sure that the attempt would be success, the machinery of the craft was carefully gone over. It was found to be in perfect order, save for a few adjustments which were needed. Then, as it was night, though there was no difference in the appearance of things below the surface, it was decided to turn in and begin work in the morning. Nor did the gold seekers go to the surface, for they feared they might encounter a storm. "We had trouble enough locating the wreck," said Captain Weston, "and if we go up, we may be blown off our course. We have air enough to stay below, haven't we, Tom?" "Plenty," answered the lad, looking at the gauges. After a hearty breakfast the next morning, the submarine crew got ready for their hard task. The craft was backed away as far as was practical, and then, running at full speed, she rammed the wreck. The shock was terrific, and at first it was feared some damage had been done to the Advance, but she stood the strain. "Did we open up much a hole?" anxiously asked Mr. Swift. "Pretty good," replied Tom, observing it through the conning tower bull's-eyes, when the submarine had backed off again. "Let's give her another." Once more the great steel ram hit into the side of the Baudelaire, and again the submarine shivered from the shock. But there was a bigger hole in the wreck now, and after Captain Weston had viewed it, he decided it was large enough to allow a person to enter and place a charge of dynamite, so that the treasure ship would be broken up. Tom and the captain placed the explosive. Then the Advance was withdrawn to a safe distance. There was a dull rumble, a great swirling of water, which was made murky. But when it cleared, and the submarine went back, it was seen that the wreck was effectively broken. It was in two parts, each one easy of access. "That's the stuff," cried Tom. "Now to get at the gold." "Yes, get out the diving suits," added Mr. Damien. "Bless my watch charm. I think I'll chance it in one myself. Do you think the sharks are all gone, Captain Weston?" "I think so." In a short time, Tom, the captain, Mr. Sharp, and Mr. Damien were attired in the diving suits. Mr. Swift, not caring to venture into such a great depth of water. Besides, it was necessary for at least one person to remain in the submarine to operate the diving chamber. Walking slowly along the bottom of the sea, the four gold seekers approached the wreck. They looked on all sides for a sight of the sharks, but the monster fish seemed to have deserted that part of the ocean. Tom was the first to reach the now disturbed steamer. He found he could easily climb up, for boxes and barrels from the cargo holds were scattered all about the explosion. Captain Weston soon joined the lad. The sailor motioned for Tom to follow him. And being more familiar with ocean craft, the captain was permitted to take the lead. He headed aft, seeking to locate the captain's cabin. Nor was he long in finding it. He motioned for the others to enter, that the combined illumination of the lamps in their helmets would make the place bright enough so a search could be made for the gold. Tom suddenly seized the arm of the captain and pointed to one corner of the cabin. There stood a small safe, and at the sight of it, Captain Weston moved toward it. The door was not locked, probably having been left open when the ship was deserted. Swinging it back, the interior was revealed. It was empty. There was no gold bullion in it. There was no mistaking the dejected air of Captain Weston. The others shared his feelings, but though they all felt like voicing their disappointment, not a word could be spoken. Mr. Sharp, by vigorous motions, indicated that his companions to seek further. They did so, spending all the rest of the day in the wreck, save for a short interval for dinner. But no gold rewarded their search. Tom, late that afternoon, wandered away from the others and found himself in the captain's cabin again, where the empty safe showing dimly in the water. That was all about. "Hang it all," thought the lad. "We've had all our trouble for nothing. They must have taken the gold with them." Idly, he raised his steel bar and struck it against a portion of the back safe. To his astonishment, the partition seemed to fall inward, revealing a secret compartment. The lad leaned forward to bring the light for his helmet to play on the recess. He saw a number of boxes piled one upon the other. He had accidentally touched a hidden spring and opened a secret receptacle. But what did it contain? Tom reached in and tried to lift one of the boxes. He found it beyond his strength. Trembling from excitement, he went in search of the others. He found them delving in after part of the wreck. By the motions of our hero, caused them to follow. Captain Weston showed the excitement as he felt as soon as he caught sight of the boxes. He and Mr. Sharp lifted one out and placed it on the cabin floor. They pried it off the top with their bars. There, packed in layers, were small yellow bars, dull, gleaming yellow bars. It needed but a glance to show that they were gold bullion. Tom had found the treasure. The lad tried to dance around there in the cabin of the wreck, nearly 3 miles below the surface of the ocean, but the pressure of water was too much for him. Their trip had been successful. Wow. So they found the gold, they found a hidden chamber where it was located. Interesting. I had actually seen that coming, where there was going to be a hidden chamber within a safe that could be locked. Very, very interesting. But now they've got to bring all that gold on board the Advance and then start their journey home without intercepting the other submarine, the other warship, or anything else out there that might be wanting to get them or get at them or even find out their secrets. Well, anyway, I wanted to thank you guys so much for tuning in today and joining me on this great adventure from the early 1900s. Thank you again so much, and you have a wonderful and blessed day.